We are still in the middle of the quote-unquote dog days of summer.
Oh, 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 oh. Rory Raggy.
That's not fair. You got to do the rest of the show without me. I'm done. Oh. That's painful. I know why they make laughing gas now. Oh, my God. Woo, yeah, so... Right, oh, boy. The dog days of summer.
I think I broke James.
Yeah, you did, actually.
Sorry.
Oof. Well worth it. Well worth it. You are an amazingly talented young man, so thank you for that.
I think you're wrong on both counts there, actually.
Anyhow, yeah, so we thought it would be a good idea to try and pass the time and hope that the air conditioner keeps doing what it's doing and maybe the hot and humid weather will cease and the said aforementioned World Cup of Hockey tournament will be upon us, and then the NHL season will start after that.
Think cool thoughts.
Absolutely. So to sarcastically talk about the dog days of summer, Gary and I thought it would be a good idea to put together a fantasy celebrity dog deck hockey team. So one day, Gary and I were talking about the great Sport Goofy, who is the only legitimate hockey-playing dog on this list, by the way.
Yes, I agree with that. And just an aside for the listener, anytime James says Gary and I thought it would be a great idea, what he means is James thought it would be a great idea, and Gary said, "You've done it again, Sajazi."
That's not fair. I mean, you're the one that does all the editing and you record the show, and then you come up with the funny little tags and you do the YouTube show and all that editing and all that stuff, and then you put it all up and you have the Facebook and you have Twitter and Gmail and all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah. You were talking about Goofy.
Yeah. So don't give me that. But anyway, right, Sport Goofy. So Gary and I fondly remember the classic hockey Sport Goofy cartoon, the specific hockey one.
Oh, yeah.
And if you haven't seen that, it really would make any hockey fan tear up with laughter. And what Gary did to me before with the dog impressions, that's how hard you will laugh at it as well. It's very tongue-in-cheek and a little sarcastic, but as long as you have a good sense of humor and your love of hockey, you'll appreciate the Sport Goofy hockey.
The premise of these cartoons is that Goofy doesn't actually know how to play, and so he's got these like how-to tapes that are telling him how the games are played and how these things are done. So he's trying to go along and do the things that are being explained to him, but it's Goofy, so he's really not very good at them, and he fails to hilarious comic effect.
Yeah, and as great as the animation was back then, and they were true artists, in my opinion, Warner Brothers included. I always loved the classic Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck cartoons as well. But all due respect to the modern computers and things, but to hand paint all those things and make them frame by frame was remarkable.
Sure.
But the sound effects of all things were, to me, I thought the funniest part of the hockey Sport Goofy. And every time that they would get in fights and the sound effects with that, and the oofs and the ahs and the things breaking and stuff, and it was very, very funny. So definitely, yeah, check it out if you can, if you haven't already. But so, yeah, Gary and I think that definitely Sport Goofy has to be on our all celebrity canine deck hockey team.
One might say he's the top dog.
Perfect. Oh, come on, that was great. I disagree with the crowd there, but another guy on the roster I was thinking of adding, and Gary is the master of putting together fantasy deck hockey teams, so I'm glad we're on the same page here as opposed to going head-to-head. So what do you think about the great McGruff? the crime dog. He can sure take a bite out of crime. Personally, I think it would be a good idea to put him in net. How do you feel on both cases since you are a goalie too?
I definitely agree with McGruff. I don't know. I might make him the manager because he always seemed kind of very laid back and just kind of stern, and he was more of the teacher than the active participant in those commercials.
Good point, and he did have that trench coat, so he kind of looked coach-like. So
right, I could see him like standing there, like a real old kind of, I don't know, Vince Lombardi maybe, kind of like with the fedora and a stogie in his mouth, kind of like, go get him! Kind of.
Sure. He'd definitely have great strategies, so good point there.
Mm-hmm.
Another celebrity dog, which is close to my heart, from my favorite all-time TV show ever, The Dukes of Hazzard, Flash the Basset Hound, the beloved Basset Hound of Roscoe P. Coltrane. The other cool thing about Flash is a she, so there's one for the females out there for the dog deck hockey team. Now, in all honesty, Flash was very lazy, but if you convinced her that somehow she was playing against Boss Hogg, then look out, because she hated Boss Hogg and she'd always come to life and bark and make his life a living disaster. So I vote for Flash the Basset Hound.
You know who, this isn't on the list, but you know who I would definitely put on a team, just about any team I was assembling in terms of dogs, was Ace from Batman Beyond. That was Bruce Wayne's dog, and he was a fierce dog. He was strong as an ox. He was fearless, fiercely loyal. That was I would sick Ace on just about anybody. Excellent
pick. You're amazing.
Yeah, I cheat. I just bring up Batman. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Well, obviously it's Batman.
That's not cheating. That's just the way to live life. But so is Ace in goal? That sounds like goalie qualities to me.
You know what? I put Ace in goal. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Nice.
I mean, maybe he should be in goal because he might be a little too aggressive if he was a forward or a defenseman.
Yeah, right.
For the betterment of the other team, for their own safety.
Nice.
Although it reminds me of a T-shirt that a friend of mine has, and I've seen it elsewhere too, but it says, always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then always be Batman.
I like it. So how about this for defense? Marmaduke and Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yeah, okay. I would have concerns about Clifford maybe breaking the ice, since he would probably be roughly the size of the entire rink. But if it can support him, yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. So, right. I don't know. Yeah, if Clifford can control how big he is, kind of like the Incredible Hulk, there are different.
I've not heard of that being one of his abilities, but okay, sure, I'll go with it.
Do me a favor. Have your daughter sit down with the little girl from the book and work on that, okay?
Emily Elizabeth?
Please. Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh. I only know that because Julia has some Clifford books, and she loves them. So
awesome. So that leaves a roster spot open now because McGruff we have behind the bench. So,
although I threw an Ace, so I think it evens out.
No, it worked out perfectly because I thought McGruff would have been a goalie.
Mm-hmm.
You suggested Ace, so we put McGruff out of goal and behind the bench, so Ace plugs right in there. So we got we got Goofy as forward. We got Ace in goal. We got Flash as forward. And two defensemen in Marmaduke and Clifford.
Right, so we still have a couple of forward slots that we need to fill, I believe.
Yeah, so they got the 2D, two forwards. Yeah, so one at least just for a starting lineup anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So and we could do whatever we want with this. This could be the ultimate celebrity dog deck hockey team.
Yes,
so we don't need to just limit it to 5 or 6 or whatever. But on the list to choose from, you got Goliath from Davy and Goliath.
Sure.
Yeah. Talk about loyalty and a big dog and cool and down to earth and trustworthy.
Pass me the puck, Davy.
Exactly. We got Odie from I Grew Up Loving Garfield. So
yes,
Odie,
absolutely. Odie was not always that bright, though, so he might be more of a goon.
True. That's right. That's especially if he's with that big tongue, he could lick people and cause some trouble there. Yeah. Ralph. I mean, if Ralph doesn't want to play, he can at least play the organ.
Yeah, right. Ralph can be the organist.
So there you go.
Perfect.
Obviously, you got probably the two most famous dogs are Lassie and Rin Tin Tin.
Yeah, full disclosure, I never really watched any of those. I guess they were like serials or shorts or whatever they were. I think they made movies, at least of Lassie too. But I never really watched those features. But that being said, I never really understood the difference between Lassie and Rin Tin Tin, especially since in the beginning they were in black and white. So to me, it was just, dog that saves people and helps. That's the same thing.
Right.
But you know what? Maybe it's like the Hanson brothers. You know, it's you have several of the same type of player, and they're somewhat interchangeable, and they work well because of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, and in terms of that too, I know that he was old and long in the tooth, for lack of a better term, but Old Yeller, he was another famous dog. Skip from a movie, My Dog Skip, who I think he also met his demise a little bit too early too. So
that I am not familiar with.
Yeah, for all the ladies out there, Harry Connick Jr., that's one of his movies. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
They gotta go Scooby.
But not Scrappy Doo, right?
No.
He does not make the cut. He can
does not make the cut.
He can be the peanut vendor.
Maybe. But we'll see about that. Kind of Scooby's crazy cousin Astro, and he's from the future.
Yes, Astro. Okay, Astro is a quality dog.
Yep. I think his name was, I'm thinking off the top of my head, from the movie Canine, which
Never
was,
saw it.
Jim Belushi was in it. He was named after Bruce Lee, I think, if I remember correctly. But he was a German Shepherd, so he was a fairly famous celebrity dog. And probably the last one on my list anyway is, and I'm sure he's not doing anything now either, if he's even still alive, but Spuds MacKenzie. You know, he had a pretty good run there.
Yeah, sure. Spuds MacKenzie, absolutely. He was Air Bud ever in any hockey movies?
Excellent point. I think when we talked about our favorite hockey movies a few Hit the Decks ago, that when they made the MVP chimp playing, the chimpanzee playing hockey.
I remember. Most valuable primate.
Right. I think they originally thought of putting Air Bud in it and then thought, well, he's already associated with basketball, so let's just change the animal altogether and go with a much, personally for me, I mean, I love chimpanzees. I mean, dogs are awesome.
Sure, yep.
Don't want to get me wrong there, but come on. I mean, a chimp playing hockey is just too darn cool to pass up. So yeah, I don't think Air Bud made it on the ice, but offhand, I believe that's what the story was behind how they went with a chimpanzee instead.
Well, there's Hong Kong Phooey, although he probably wouldn't play too well in today's politically correct society. There's let me see. There's Droopy, although he would probably be a little bit of a lazy player. I don't know.
I love Droopy too. Very good call.
Yeah, no, he's good. Although, you know, if I don't know, it would take him half an hour just to call for the puck.
Right, and I think Snoopy. How about Snoopy?
Snoopy, sure. Although he might get distracted thinking he's a World War I flying ace at some point and just like run off or skate off. Plus, he's not very good to Woodstock when he plays with him, so I don't know how good of a teammate he'd be. Good point.
Bit
of a selfish player, I think, Snoopy, probably.
Yep. Well, yeah, he did sell out Charlie Brown every chance he got, too. So.
Right? Yep, absolutely.
Not cool.
Not cool at all, man. Come on, Snoopy. Man's best friend. But
so, yeah, you know what? I can't make a decision. So anybody out there listening, if you have an opinion, please let us know. Gary will tell you in a minute how to contact us. Who should fill out that final deck hockey dog roster spot?
You know what? How about Slinky Dog from Toy Story?
Well, yeah, right.
He could play offense and defense simultaneously.
And you'd never have to worry about offsides either.
Right. Right.
So,
yes.
Yeah, good one.
Oh, yes. We have too much time on our hands.